I got into photojournalism because I love photography, first of all, and I was interested in the world around me and current events and news. I wanted to be a part of that.
I was really just foraging around in the world of photojournalism. I'd been in Afghanistan with the Taliban. I'd been with Amir Shah Massoud, who was the big anti-Taliban commander. Coming back to New York 5 days after being in Afghanistan, suddenly the whole world just compacted. I felt like I was at the eye of the storm.
I got the call 9-ish, and I started seeing police trucks and emergency vehicles, and essentially a cordon at the Manhattan Bridge. That's when I took this picture.
There was a few policemen, a few firemen, and they said, let's pull back. And within about 15 seconds, there was just what felt like a huge explosion. And I just started sprinting.
As the building was collapsing, it suddenly felt like there was a massive tidal wave behind me. And that's when I just put the camera behind me to get these, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames.
There was fires everywhere, there was electrical cables sparking.
Amongst the rubble, amongst the siding, there was a firefighter stood on his own nearby, and he just looked completely bewildered. And then he looked right at me, and it's as if he looked right through me, and he turned and he walked away.
Now, what do you got? You putting a documentary together?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
How many pictures do you have like that of guys that you try to find
Oh well,
out
you
who
know
they
what?
are?
I'm looking for 4 guys. Most of them their faces are covered by masks.
After the collapse of the South Tower, I spent probably about 15 minutes in the stage door deli, just kind of getting my breath and making some photographs in there. And I thought I need to get back out on the street and keep working. There were a lot of cops, firemen. There was also a court officer who was helping do some medical aid. And I just stood there and started photographing her, and she just looked up at me and said, have you got nothing else better to do?
I got about halfway up, through the car deck up here, and I stopped, and I thought, I'm not going to get anything else. And I started to turn around and walk back. Yeah. Okay. And I was walking back, and I was checking my cameras, and somebody said to me, are you a photographer? I said, yeah. And he said, where are you going? And I said, well, I've got to get my pictures back. I'm on deadline. He said, you've got to go on. You've got to cover this.
Did you guys lose anyone on 9/11?
We lost 9 guys, but not directly. We had guys that worked in this house, but they were promoted and they were in other firehouses. Right. There's the 9 guys right there. We have them on the back. Actually, if you look at the back of the fire truck, we have all their names as a memorial.
Right.
Just as a reminder. Because once a guy comes through these doors, you never forget.
So, this is the guy.
McCracken. He's in Marine 6.
What's the back like that?
McCracken.
He's on the boats now, yeah.
Kraken. The old goat. We call him the old goat.
Really? Yeah.
I never really worked in New York as a photojournalist. I'd always felt like I was away to go and do my job. I felt I needed to be outside of my usual environment to go and make pictures. So that day, I think the most surreal part was just to come home and look at myself covered in dust in the mirror. And you couldn't leave it. You had to face it. And I knew the next morning it'd be the same thing. And how long that story would keep playing out, I didn't know. I was never going to be able to walk away from it.
Here we are. This is Brian McCarrick's peg, and which means she's still on the roster. And but he's assigned to a Marine unit.
176. That's the thing that led us here. The only ID I had was this number.
What's in his face says it all.
I got him on the telly.
Oh, there you go.
Brian, you there? Hold on.
Hi, Brian. This is Neville Elder. Cortlandt Street. Hello, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
It's really nice to meet you. Great to meet you, Lars. Does this take you back?
It does.